Good afternoon. This is Debra V. Wilson. I am in Winnipeg, Manitoba. It is Wednesday, the 2nd of August, 2017, and the time is 1400 hours and 35 minutes, and that is GMT minus 6. Today's podcast is called For Example. In my analysis of security models, I'm looking at a myriad of ways in which people and the state construct security. How and why do they build models the ways in which they do? Much of my research is based on my experiences in the United Kingdom and understanding how civilians looked at their experiences of the state and the state's security modeling and the impact they felt that had on their lives and their safety. I also looked, so that's bottom up, I also looked top down at the ways in which the state did its security modeling. Now, I started traveling to the United Kingdom in my 20s, but before that, I saw security modeling in the U.S. And I don't mean just the state's construct of security. I'm talking about from bottom up, civilians' attempt at security modeling. I'm in my late 50s. I'm 59 years of age. As I just said, I'm from Chicago, the south side of Chicago. The community in which I lived, Woodlawn, had a great deal of activity in terms of civil rights activism. And indeed, Chicago, the African American community, was infused with enthusiasm and a vibrancy around addressing equality, or the lack thereof based on ethnicity. In this particular case, it was African Americans. Most iterations of religion at that time in the African American community was around the construct of a God that was not only a just God that felt what was happening to African Americans as the people constructed the image of God, which we all do. God is not just God. God is also who and what we perceive the divine, the all-powerful, the creator to be. And during that time as a child, I remember constantly, even in the Catholic Church, and I was raised in a Catholic Muslim home, I was educated in the Catholic school system. I remember songs always having additional meaning, not just praising God, the creator, or in a Catholic space, it was Jesus. And of course, in a Muslim space, not so much singing, but for the moment, let's stay with Christianity. And I remember those constructs, whether it be in the Catholic Church or visiting African American churches, Baptist churches, sanctified churches. Those constructs of the songs were specifically about what was happening, not only about your engagement with the divine and what might happen to you, what was perceived and believed to have happened, will happen to you in the hereafter, but what was happening now. How to survive racism, how to survive political violence, physical violence from the state, how to survive the disproportionate poverty more likely experienced by African Americans. I remember in African American churches, predominantly African American churches, again, in some Black Catholic spaces, but mostly in Baptist and sanctified spaces, hearing songs about that talked of God as a warrior to protect, talked of God being a support system to help with your resilience and your tenacity, to acknowledge the songs acknowledged your human dignity, that No one can define me but God. God put me here. I'm on the right path. I'm here because God meant me to be here. No one can stop my journey. So the songs not only gave voice to the belief that most Christians have, practicing Christians, I would dare say, making a walking generalization of the hereafter, but that God was here and now and in the present, and was in this particular context, the African American experience during the 60s, a security model for surviving systemic and mind-numbing racism in Chicago. So, for example, I'm actually going to post a link to a song by a pastor, a young pastor in Chicago, actually, named Pastor Charles Jenkins. And it's a YouTube video. It's, if you listen to the song, I apologize, and you listen to the words, and I would invite you to understand the history. This is an African American congregation. It's an African American congregation in Chicago, Illinois. I would invite you to hear the songs, and as opposed to the construct of God being above and singing praise to the Creator being about a life after, in the hereafter, what it says about now, and the sustenance, and the comfort, and the strength, and the power that it provides you with in the now, is one of the reasons why I believe both civil society, some in civil society, and some states use constructs, human constructs of God that are projected onto the divine, a higher power, the Creator, Allah, are in fact human security models. That we've taken the Creator and constructed the Creator in a militarized fashion, in a weapon. We've weaponized the Creator to protect us. The Creator becomes then not just the protector of my soul, my morality. The Creator is my very safety. Again, I'm going to post the link to the YouTube video, and I invite you to take a listen to it and come up to your own conclusions. And also, I'm at the beginning of understanding how constructs of God go into creating security models, both from the state's perspective, top down, and also civilians' perspective, civil society, bottom up. And in that regard, I have started a playlist called Utterances of Construct of God in Security Modeling, and I'll provide the link to that as well in the description box of this YouTube video. Sorry, YouTube still continues to be a mystery to me, the mechanisms. In any case, this is Debra V. Wilson. I'm in Winnipeg, Manitoba, and that's in Canada. Thank you.